What I want to talk about today is the impact that you can have upon the world, to effectively not underestimate the impact that you can have upon your fellow man. It's possible to feel like a tiny, 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 irrelevant piece in the vastness of everything. And I think that's quite a useful way of thinking about yourself as well. But somehow within that vastness, every little action, every word, every thought, every non-action has an impact upon everything else, and it reverberates out everywhere. The way that you relate to that or to other people, maybe you actually hold their life in your hands. The way that you expect your day to unfold probably drives to a certain extent the way that you're going to relate to your fellow man, and that can literally help or hinder them to the point of maybe life or death. Maybe they walk off with a spring in their step, or they walk off feeling bad. And so your impact can be very, very strong. I had an example which is probably a couple of months ago now, and it was a meaningless thing, but it was a beautiful thing at the same time. And all it was that I was walking down the street. It was early in the morning. The sun was already creeping over. You could taste summer in the air, and a guy was walking in the other direction who I have never met before and I will never meet again. And all I did was acknowledge him. That's it. I acknowledged him. I said hello. I said hello. I live in a Francophone environment. My French is not fantastic. It's okay, but it's not okay. It's not fantastic, so it's not as if we had a deep and meaningful conversation. But my acknowledging that person, saying hello to him, you could see the light in his face. His eyes lit up. His smile beamed out for nothing, just because I had acknowledged him, I had acknowledged the beauty of the day, and I had kind of shared a little bit of that with him. And we passed a minute together, no more. And then he walked in that direction and I walked in that direction, and we'll probably never see each other again. But here I am a couple of months later telling you about this because, I can feel it inside of myself. And he probably went off and said something beautiful to somebody else and gave somebody else a beautiful gift. And that ripples out through the world, makes it a beautiful place. If that interaction hadn't have occurred, who knows how the world might have been instead, yeah? So that's what all I'm saying. It's like, don't underestimate the power of your actions, of your thoughts upon all of this. We tend to create the reality that we expect. Had you not expected them, you wouldn't have noticed them. Yeah? I'll give you another one, which is absolutely absurd. I was so filled with joy, so thrilled with existence. I was absolutely thrilled with the flavors of life, to the point where I was kind of, it was like brimming. There was so much inside of me, so much joy, so much beauty, that I kind of had to express it somehow. And it was probably a little bit of irrational exuberance, but I'd just been in a ridiculous thing for me. I had just been in a dance class. I don't do dance classes, okay? I have a brick here and a brick here. I'm British. I'm not a dancer. And that was why I had done the dance class. It's like, let's do something ridiculous, yeah? Let's go outside my comfort zone and let's see what I learn from that process. And maybe that contributed to this idea of the joyful zest of life. I don't know. But I came out of this full of the joys of spring. And I went to take a tram, right? A mundane experience of life. It's the early evening, and I'm just basically commuting home. There is nothing exceptional about this experience. But I get there, and I'm there with the 3 or 4 people that were taking the same journey back. And I went up to one of them, and I just said, you know, the world is so, so amazing. Sounds so ridiculous. Let me give you a hug, right? That's what I said. Now, this wasn't a complete stranger. This was someone that I had met in the event, right? So it's not like a complete wild thing. But nonetheless, you could just feel that I was like, let me just give you a hug. And so I gave her a hug, right? In itself was nothing special. But whilst I'm giving her a hug, I hear a voice in my ear saying, well, hold on a minute. I want a hug too. And I kind of thought. So I let go of the person, and I looked to my right. I didn't even know who the person was that had given the voice. And it's a big guy, a tall guy, much taller than me. And I looked up at him, you know, I hadn't met him before. He was just stood on the platform waiting for the tram. And I said, okay, go on then. So I gave him a hug, right? And we did that for a minute. I don't know, a minute. When I let go of him, and I looked at him and he looked at me, and we both just kind of very quietly smiled to each other, as there was a deep settling. But then I noticed out of the corner of my eye the other people on this platform of the tram. And there were maybe 20 people who were all hugging each other. And then they let go. And they looked around with smiles on their face, with joy on their face, with joy in their eyes. And for me, that moment was a, what happened there? Now, I can't explain it, right? But they must have seen what was going on, resonated with that, and decided to do something similar, silly too. Maybe, because I don't know, I wasn't watching, maybe a couple of other people that were in the dance class, they did the same thing, and then it rippled out. I have no idea. But when I let go, 20 people on that platform let go of each other, having had a random hug, and beamed forth. Never underestimate the power of your actions. The beauty is everywhere. The beauty is all around. I mean, it's no accident that I pick a beautiful place to do a video like this. I connect with stuff that I do not understand, that makes me feel extraordinary. Now, I'm choosing that feeling. I am building that feeling inside of myself. But then I'm sharing it with the world. I'm sharing this now with you, and who knows where that goes. Well, I've talked enough, otherwise I'll start getting evangelical. If it's the sort of thing which is of interest, subscribe, because I'm sure there'll be a whole lot more. All right, take care. Bye.